Welcome to Las Vegas Trader YouTube channel and a weekly analysis video of the markets. So let's just jump right into S&P 500. This is a daily chart. As you can see, last week we saw this bullish bar off of 20-day moving average and it formed a small topping tail. I said if we take this out lower, we're going lower, but we did a slight pullback to the 20 and then move back right up, bounced off the 20-day moving average. So I see a continuation. Well, this is a daily chart, so probably a continuation of the upward movement, unless we see a strong downward movement and takes out these 2 days of green. Um, Otherwise, I would assume we're moving higher. Same thing on a weekly chart. Um, we're a little overbought on the weekly chart, but looks like we're just gonna move higher on the weekly chart and the monthly chart. We just started the new month of March. We had 4 months of positive move. So now we are sitting at 51.50 or so. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Same thing as the Nasdaq as in S&P 500. Pretty much identical chart on the daily. Um, Weekly chart, same as the S&P 500, and same thing on the monthly chart. So whatever happens, it seems like the technology stocks are driving the markets higher. The big cap stocks are just driving the market. Small caps are just struggling, and we will get to that in a second. Here's Dow Jones. Dow Jones pretty much did the same thing on a daily chart as Nasdaq and S&P 500. On a weekly chart, um, we're stalling on a weekly chart on Dow Jones here. So let's take a look at the monthly. Yeah, it looks the same as the S&P 500 and Nasdaq. So, but we should see a small pullback or something at least, which is very bullish. The bulls are just pushing the prices higher in all the markets. Um, but here's Russell 2000. As you can see, let me just scroll a little bit. As you can see, we are nowhere near the highs. So small cap stocks are just struggling. Like I said, the technology and big cap stocks are just driving the market. Everything else is just struggling. But we finally broke through this resistance. But then again, we're sitting right at the recent resistance of about 20,000, 2,100 or so. Okay, so if we see well, we might see a rotation from the big cap to small cap and just have a nice big green day and break through the resistance. Um, so that's the daily, weekly. Yeah, it looks like we probably gonna see a break because it looks like we're gonna break through. We're sitting at resistance, but um, so we need a nice powerful day to break through and move higher. And the monthly chart, as you can see, so we erased this red bar and now we are above it, and now possibly moving higher and hit the highs for the next month or so. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at the um, crude oil. As you remember last week, I told you that we broke above the resistance of 2200, the 200 moving day average, and we stayed above it. And now we broke through the resistance, and we bounced off the 200-day moving average, and looks like we're going higher on a daily chart. Same thing on a weekly chart. As you can see, as I mentioned last week, the 20-day moving average held up the downward movement, and we took off from the 20. So my target would be around $91, $92. Uh, not in not in 1 week, but let's take a look at the monthly chart. Uh, monthly chart looks like, let's see, 91 would be right around the resistance level, right over here of this bar. So um, March could be very bullish for oil. Let's take a look at the gold, which, as you remember, I called for bullish move in the precious metals because, but we are still stuck in this range. Okay, so, but this nice green bar bounced off the 50 and the 20-day moving average, which was 2% move, which is nice bullish move. And now we just need to break through and above the all-time high of 2152. So this is the daily chart, the weekly chart, same thing. I like the movement to the upside. We took off right off from the 20-day moving average, and higher prices will be seen most likely. And the monthly chart, same thing. So we just started this month, so we got 4 weeks of positive upward direction. So let's take a look at the silver, the daily chart. Same thing like gold. The only difference is we are sitting right at 200-day moving average resistance, but I think we're going to break through it alongside with gold. It's going to push prices higher. And this is the weekly. This is the weekly chart here. So yeah, once we get above right all these three moving averages, let's just call it almost $24. Yeah, which we roughly around 65 cents or so. So if we can see that and break through $24, probably see a continuation and probably hit the highs of the resistance right around 26 bucks on silver. This is the weekly. Let's take a look at the monthly chart here. Yeah, I like what I see here. So we see this bullish move. We see a pullback, 3 months of pullback. And now we're seeing green bullish move. So 26 bucks on a weekly chart was the resistance. Same thing on the monthly. So if we see a nice pop this month, this whole month, breakthrough, and the following months, 29, 30 bucks, I would like to see that. I like precious metals. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin. This is the future. This is the futures. This is the forex side, the daily chart. I mean, look at this move. I mean, just 1, 2, 3 days of just from 52,000 to 62,000, $10,000 move in 3 days, and now we're consolidating. So weekly chart, the all-time highs are right around the corner. Um, so I mean, this was a big bullish green week for Bitcoin. So probably small pullback and probably hit all-time highs on a monthly chart. Let me look at this bar. February. This is, I mean, from 42 to 62. $20,000 move, 20,000 point move. Um, so now, but we're sitting right at resistance, all-time highs. So a pullback is probably more likely. But if we continue higher, but resistance will be at 69,000. So that's at the monthly chart. Let's look at the dollar. As you can see, the dollar moved lower or kind of sideways, stuck between the 20 and a 200-day moving average. Um, the dollar moved lower on Friday, and that's why the precious metals moved higher, 2%. So that explains the inverse moves. Here's the weekly chart. So as long as if this 50-day moving average holds up, and then we see a pop, probably gonna see 107. If not, if it doesn't hold, we're going lower on a dollar. Let's see in a weekly chart, and this is the monthly chart. So the price is staying right below the 20-day moving average and starting to curve and go flat. So once we take out this green bar, right around 103 or so, including the tail, we're probably going to see at least 100. Let me see the weekly chart. So 100 would be right around here, and the 200-day moving average is right in their area, and that's will be the support also. So I think we're going lower because the precious metals are probably going higher. But like I said, anything can happen. Nobody knows. And here's the bonds. Here's the bond market. As you remember, last week I mentioned that the bond market was forming a bottom right over here. It tried to break through and go lower, but it did not. And now finally broke through above the declining 20-day moving average. And so we have the 250 resisting. So we got to break through on a weekly chart. As you remember last week, I said as long as the 20-day moving average holds up, and that's exactly what happened. And now we broke through this one bar, and we bounced off the 20. The target probably is $100. Okay, so that's the on a weekly $100 would be right around this area. So which is very 5 days of bullish move. And let's look at the monthly here. So once we take out these two red bars, the 20 moving average was acting as resistance, so they pushed the price lower. But now we need to take them out. and $100 would be right over here, which would be right at resistance of 20-day moving average. So, um, but that would be um, very bullish. So I like to see that. And I think that's going to happen because the 20-day moving average is starting to flatten out slightly. So, um, but that's it. Um, that's it for this week. If you want, you can review the last week's video, see see how I predicted the moves, and let's see what happens this week. So please like the video, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share with anyone and everyone you think might like and benefit from this content on my channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week in the next video. Take care.